I've done a previous video on how God says in Genesis 2, chapter 25, he says the man and his wife are naked and unashamed. It means that the goal that God has for marriage is that we learn to be vulnerably ourselves and authentically seen, and that process does not bring us shame. Now, let's talk about the barriers to this process happening. So in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 33, God gives us two standards for marriage. Nevertheless, let each one of you in particular so love his own wife as himself. Now that love is the Greek word agapoa. So that love is not about love, the emotion. It is about love as a verb. It is about the actions of love. It is my ability to give love in the way that the person needs, but it's also my capacity to receive love. Now, culture tells us that the man's job is really paying bills, making the family safe. So then if I go back to this agapoa, this love where I'm going to have to show this woman in front of me in action that I love her, the man is going to have a hard time showing up and actually loving her in action when he's not receiving that back. He said, love your wife as you love yourself. So the problem is that the man has to unmask himself. He has to vulnerably share the story of who he is. He has to be authentically seen and accepted as himself. And then that is putting my needs and wants within the relationship and expecting them to be met. Apostle Paul says, let the wife see that she respects her husband. Now, if we look that respect up, it is honor, esteem, reverence. In Genesis, God tells us the man leaves his mom and dad and he cleaves to his wife and becomes one flesh. So God is saying this relationship is going to grow this man in emotional well-being. So guess what the woman has to have? I got to have greater emotional well-being. This relationship with this man, and he's going to be healing his insecurities and his fears and his trauma story with me. And this relationship cannot give him shame. As the woman, I got to wrestle down my thoughts and my beliefs about what I believe masculinity should look like and what I believe manhood should be. Because I'm going to need to be able to see his weaknesses, see his insecurities, and not shame him for it. I'm going to be able to have to hold Apostle Paul's standard, and that he's going to be able to share the story of who he is. And I'm going to still have to give him respect, honor, reverence, and esteem. The original goal for relationships are that we should exist in this relationship, and I should be able to unmask myself. I should be vulnerably seen and accepted and valued for me. I should be able to share the story of who I am, and none of this process should bring me shame.